Welcome to Infidelity Truths. Before we dive into today's gripping story, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us create more thrilling stories just for you. Let's begin.
My life had always felt simple. At least, that's what I thought. I was young in love and hopeful. Lena, my girlfriend, and I were in our second year at university, weaving dreams with threads of ambition and love. We talked about everything: graduating, building careers, buying a house, maybe getting a golden retriever named Max, and someday a couple of kids. It felt like the perfect picture. My parents, Victor and Elaine, were pillars of the community, always in church, always preaching about unity, faith, and doing what was right. I believed they were on our side, believed they'd be there through it all. I believed a lot of things back then. Then Lena told me she was pregnant. It was a cold Thursday night. We were alone in her dorm room. Her voice trembled as she said it, but her eyes, though terrified, held resolve. I was stunned. We weren't ready. We were barely scraping by on part-time jobs and meal plans. But she wanted to keep it, scared but sure. And I, caught between fear and love, chose to support her. I thought maybe we'd figure it out. Maybe it wasn't the life we had planned, but it could still be our life. Until it wasn't. The night she confessed shook my entire existence. The baby wasn't mine. It was my older brother's, Zane, my blood, my best friend, the guy who taught me how to ride a bike, who shared my secrets, who I would have taken a bullet for. Lena sobbed, unable to meet my eyes. I sat there, heart crumbling, trying to process the betrayal. When I confronted Zane, he barely flinched. "It just happened," he said. No guilt, no apology, just apathy. That more than the betrayal itself broke something inside me. I thought things couldn't possibly get worse. Then I told my parents. I expected outrage, maybe some semblance of justice, but they were calm, eerily calm. My mother said it was God's mysterious plan. My father said Zane was still young and deserved grace. They spoke of family, forgiveness, and unity. Then they dropped the bomb. They wanted me to help support Zane and Lena, help raise the child. They expected me to step aside quietly, to be the bigger man. I said no, and that was all it took. Their love vanished like a switch flipped off. I was suddenly selfish, dramatic, a problem. My mother cried, accused me of tearing the family apart. My father told me to stop being emotional and obey God's will. They told me to leave. No yelling, no drama, just silence and finality. I left with a backpack, no money, and a bleeding heart. The savings I'd entrusted to them for school? Gone. Used to renovate my old room into a nursery for Zane's child. The room where I had studied, dreamed, prayed, now filled with cribs and pastel walls. They never looked back. I crashed on my friend Jaden's couch, picked up a job at a diner, took community college classes when I could, scraped, crawled, rebuilt. Every day carried the ghost of what I had lost. They never called, never messaged. I was erased, and when I reached out, just to feel human again, all I got were updates on how Zane was thriving, how the baby was a blessing, how I should be supportive. I became the villain in a story I never wrote. Years passed, 3 to be exact. Then one night my phone rang. An unknown number. I answered. "Hello. Elias." The voice was fragile, wavering. My mother. Her silence after my name stretched, heavy with unspoken regret. She said they'd lost everything. The house, the savings, a failed business investment, maybe even fraud. She didn't know anymore. My father was drowning in denial. They were broke, hungry. She asked me to come back. I listened, cold and unmoved. Let her speak. Let her tears hang heavy. When she finished, I reminded her. 3 years. 3 years since they erased me. 3 years since they stole my future and handed it to Zane. Now that they needed saving, I was suddenly their son again. I told her to call him the golden child, the chosen one. Let him rescue them. I hung up before she could respond, and I felt nothing. Days later, Zane called. His voice was sheepish, like he'd rehearsed a speech. He said he was sorry. I laughed like a man who'd forgotten how. "Sorry," I said. "That's it." His regret wasn't for me. It was for himself, because things didn't work out the way he planned. I told him I didn't care. I didn't hate him. I felt nothing at all. Then came Lena. Her voice was soft, broken. She said the child, my nephew, had done nothing wrong. She said he looked up to me, though we'd never met. She begged me to forgive. For the child's sake, I reminded her everything. How they threw me away, used my money, called it God's will. I told her I wasn't the hero of her sob story. I wasn't going to rescue the people who burned me. I told her to raise her child with Zane, the man she chose. And I ended the call. Almost a year later, I got a call from Pastor Morgan. He said he'd known my family for years, that they came to him broken, desperate. He asked if I'd speak to him. For the first time, someone didn't guilt me, didn't push. He listened. I told him everything, and for once, someone said the words I needed to hear. I'm sorry, you deserved better. He said forgiveness had to be earned, that healing had to be on my terms, and whether I ever forgave them or not, he'd respect it. That moment gave me a sliver of peace, not because things were fixed, but because someone finally saw me, not as a bitter son, not as a villain, but as a human being. The moral lessons from the story: 1. Family should be built on truth, not convenience. True love and loyalty aren't proven in easy times, but in how family stands by you when you're hurting. Dismissing one child to protect another causes lasting damage. Betrayal doesn't always come from strangers. The deepest wounds often come from those closest to us. Trust, once broken by loved ones, can be harder to heal than any physical wound. Forgiveness is a personal journey, not an obligation. You have the right to heal on your own terms. Forgiving someone doesn't mean forgetting what they did, or restoring the same relationship. People often regret only when they lose their safety net. Regret that comes after consequences is not always genuine. Some apologies are born from convenience, not conviction. Self-respect matters more than forced peace. Choosing yourself, even when it means walking away from your own family, is not selfish, it's survival. Peace doesn't mean allowing yourself to be used. Children are innocent, even in the mess adults create. While the adults failed Elias, the child involved didn't deserve abandonment. It's a reminder that the next generation often pays for the sins of the previous one. Not everyone who preaches goodness lives by it. Public image doesn't reflect private truth. People who appear perfect in church or society can still be deeply flawed behind closed doors. When people show you who they are, believe them. Elias gave his family chances, but in the end, he learned that loyalty shouldn't be given where it isn't returned.
Thank you, my amazing subscribers. Wow, what a journey. If you've made it to the end of this story, I just want to take a moment to say thank you. Your support means everything to me. Every time you watch, like, and comment, you're helping keep this channel alive and growing. And trust me, the best is yet to come. I see all your comments. I feel your love, and I truly appreciate each and every one of you. If this story touched your heart, hit that like button and drop a comment below. I'd love to hear what you think. Your thoughts and feedback inspire me to create even more powerful stories. And if you haven't already, subscribe and turn on that notification bell so you never miss a new upload. More shocking twists, emotional journeys, and real-life lessons are on the way, and I don't want you to miss a single one. Together, we're building an incredible community, and I'm so grateful to have you on this journey with me. Stay strong, stay inspired, and remember, sometimes life's greatest lessons come from the most unexpected moments. See you in the next story.